Have you ever found yourself sitting quietly after a family visit, your mind full of unspoken thoughts, wishing you had the courage to say no, or at least to say not right now, without feeling guilty? It's one of those moments where you smile and nod while inside. Your heart is screaming for some breathing room. I think every one of us, especially as we get older, knows that feeling. You love your family to bits, but sometimes their needs, opinions, and expectations can start to feel like heavy weights on your shoulders. And you might have noticed it more now than ever before. After 60, the world seems to shift a little, doesn't it? Your kids are grown. Maybe they've got families of their own. Grandchildren brighten your days, but there are still moments when the phone rings or someone shows up at your door, and instead of feeling excited, you feel exhausted. And the truth is, my friend, you are allowed to feel that way. You are allowed to protect your time, your peace, and your energy. No explanations needed. That's why I wanted to make this video, just for you. Because setting boundaries with family, especially the people you love the most, isn't about building walls. It's about creating space for respect, understanding, and healthier relationships. It's about learning to say, I love you, but I need this for myself. And the beautiful part? When you learn to do that, your family often learns to love you even more because they get the best version of you, not the worn-out, overextended one. So today, I want to walk with you through 5 simple but powerful ways to set boundaries with grace, confidence, and kindness. These aren't about pushing people away, and they're not about making anyone feel small. They're about standing tall in your own life, holding your head high, and claiming the space and respect you've earned over all these years. Because you deserve nothing less. Let's begin with something that might sound so simple, but for many of us is the hardest habit to practice. Learning to say no without guilt. Somewhere along the way, we were taught that saying yes was the polite thing to do, especially when it comes to family. When your daughter asks you to babysit on short notice, or your grown son drops by with a favor, the words, "Sure, I'll help," just slip out before your mind even catches up. You feel like if you say no, you'll be letting them down, or worse, that they'll think you don't care. But the truth is, saying yes when your heart is screaming no isn't love, it's self-abandonment. What I've seen time and time again is that the happiest, most peaceful seniors are the ones who've learned to see their time as valuable. Saying no, kindly but clearly, isn't shutting someone out. It's giving them the gift of honesty, and it's giving yourself the gift of rest, space, and self-respect. A simple, "I'm not able to help today, but I'm sending you my love," is more than enough. You don't need long explanations. You don't need to bend over backward trying to justify your limits. Your no is a full sentence. And when you start practicing this, something almost magical happens. The guilt starts to fade. The fear of upsetting others softens, because you'll begin to feel lighter, freer, and stronger every time you choose yourself with kindness. Now, once you've embraced that little but powerful word, no, the next step becomes even easier. It's about setting clear expectations. So often, we feel frustrated or overwhelmed by family, not because they're trying to hurt us, but because we haven't been clear about our limits. When you've spent a lifetime being the dependable one, the strong one, the one who always says yes, people naturally expect that version of you to stay the same forever. But you, my friend, have earned the right to evolve. Clear expectations sound like this. I'm available for calls after lunch, but mornings are my quiet time. Or, I love seeing you and the grandkids, but I'll need a day or 2 of notice to prepare. When you set expectations up front, you take the guesswork and tension out of future conversations. People aren't mind readers, even the ones who love you most. And you deserve to be understood, not taken for granted. And I promise you this, setting expectations isn't selfish. It's wise. It allows your relationships to grow stronger and more respectful because everyone knows where they stand. You'll notice your days start to feel more peaceful, your relationships more balanced, and your heart more at ease. Now, before we go any further, I want to pause for a second. If this message is resonating with you, if you feel even the tiniest spark of strength or hope from this conversation, I want you to do me a favor. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and give this video a big thumbs up. When you do, you're not just helping this channel grow, you're helping others, people just like you, who might be feeling unseen, unheard, or overwhelmed find the strength to set their own boundaries. Your simple click might be the light someone else needs today. And stick with me through this entire video, won't you? Each tip I'm sharing is like a piece of the puzzle. Alone, they're powerful. But when you put them all together, that's when real change happens. You deserve that peace. You deserve a life that feels like your own. So stay with me. Let's keep walking this path together. Now that we've talked about the power of saying no without guilt and the importance of setting clear expectations, let's move forward into something just as vital: how to communicate your boundaries with love and firmness. And this part, right here, is where the real beauty of boundaries starts to shine through: communication. You see, setting boundaries isn't about shutting people out, and it isn't about building walls so high that nobody can reach you. It's about opening the door to honest conversations. The kind where you say what you mean and mean what you say, without sharpness or anger, but with kindness and confidence. Sometimes the hardest part isn't knowing your boundary, it's speaking it out loud. Maybe you've felt that before, where the words feel heavy, like they're stuck somewhere between your chest and your throat. But the truth is, the longer you hold them in, the harder it becomes. And most of the time, the people around you don't even realize they've crossed a line until you speak up. The key here is tone. Boundaries spoken with love are much easier for family to accept than those spoken in frustration or silence turned resentment. Think of it like this: if you waited until you were completely fed up before saying, "I'm not doing this anymore," it's likely to come out sharp. But if you can catch the feeling early and say something gentle like, "I really value my quiet evenings, and I need that time to recharge," it lands softer, and it gives your loved ones a chance to respond with understanding rather than defensiveness. And you don't have to over-explain or apologize for how you feel. A clear, calm statement from the heart is often all it takes. In fact, most people respect honesty when it's paired with kindness. Over time, your family will begin to see that your boundaries aren't walls to keep them out, but doors that invite them into a relationship that's healthier, stronger, and more respectful for everyone. You might be surprised by how much peace this simple shift can bring. You start feeling lighter, more in control, and even more connected to your loved ones. Because now, your time together is chosen, not pressured. And that makes every moment more meaningful. And while we're on the subject of peace, let me share another little truth that often gets overlooked. Boundaries also apply to your emotional space, not just your time or physical presence. After 60, your world starts to change. Maybe you've retired, maybe you've downsized, maybe your social circles have shifted. Whatever the case, this season of life is meant to bring you calm, not chaos. And sometimes, family can unintentionally stir up stress with their words, opinions, or even just the way they rely on you to solve every little problem. Emotional boundaries are just as important as physical ones. Let's say your adult children call you, not just to share their lives, but to vent about their struggles. Maybe your grown daughter rings you after a long day, unloading her marriage frustrations. Maybe your son expects you to mediate conflicts or give advice on problems you can't and shouldn't solve. It's natural to want to help, to want to be there for them. But your heart deserves protection too. It's perfectly okay to say, "I'm here to listen, but I'm not able to carry this for you." Or, "I care deeply about what you're going through, but I need to protect my peace." These simple phrases don't cut people out of your life. They create a healthy space for both of you to breathe. And the more you practice these little emotional guardrails, the easier it becomes. Over time, your family starts to understand that you're a person too, not just a parent, grandparent, or helper, but a human being with feelings, limits, and a right to peace. And here's something else worth mentioning, my friend. Boundaries are a two-way street. You're not just teaching others how to treat you, you're also showing them how to treat themselves. When your family sees you prioritizing your well-being, they learn to do the same. You become an example of balance, not burden. You teach your children and grandchildren the value of self-respect, not through lectures, but through the way you live your life. And when you think about it, isn't that one of the most loving things you can offer? the chance for your family to grow into healthier, more respectful relationships just by watching you honor yourself. Now, before we move forward, I just want to remind you that if you're feeling a little nervous about setting boundaries, that's okay. You're not alone. Most people have spent decades putting others first, and shifting that mindset takes time. But you can do this. You have more strength and wisdom than you probably give yourself credit for. And if you've been nodding along, thinking, yes, this is what I've needed to hear, I want to invite you once again to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. This is a space for people just like you, people who are learning how to embrace this beautiful chapter of life with grace, confidence, and joy. And every click, every comment, every share helps more people find the strength to put themselves first, without guilt and without apology. You've made it this far, and that already tells me you're serious about creating more peace and balance in your life. And I'm so proud of you for that. But there's one last piece to this puzzle that we can't skip. A final boundary that might just be the most important one of all. Let's explore it together. And the most powerful boundary you can ever set, especially in this stage of life, is the one you set with yourself. You see, we often think of boundaries as something we create to manage the way others treat us. But the truth is, the way we treat ourselves sets the tone for every relationship we have. If you allow guilt, obligation, or old habits to run your decisions, you'll find yourself feeling stretched thin, even if your loved ones aren't asking much of you. And the hardest part about this is most of us have spent decades putting others first, raising children, caring for family, managing responsibilities at work and home. So much so that putting yourself first can feel selfish. But it's not selfish. It's necessary. If you don't respect your own time, your own peace, and your own needs, nobody else will know how to. And this, my friend, is a boundary that changes everything. It's the moment you decide that your well-being matters just as much as anyone else's. It could be something as simple as choosing not to answer a phone call during your quiet time, or giving yourself permission to say no to a family gathering when your body is asking for rest, or even carving out a guilt-free hour each day for something that nourishes your soul, whether that's reading a good book, taking a walk, or just sitting with a cup of tea and your own thoughts. When you start showing yourself that level of kindness, the world begins to mirror it back. Your family will see the difference. And while there might be a little adjustment at first, people who truly love and respect you will not only accept your boundaries, they'll admire your strength for setting them. And isn't that what you've earned after all these years of caring for others? The right to honor your own needs, to create space for your joy, and to enjoy life on your own terms? The truth is, boundaries don't create distance. They create clarity. And with clarity comes deeper, more honest relationships. When you're clear about your limits, the people in your life are freed from guessing what's okay and what isn't. You both know where you stand, and that allows love, respect, and kindness to flow much more naturally. And if you're sitting there wondering, but what if I've never set boundaries before? What if it's too late? Let me tell you, it's never too late. Not at 60, not at 70, not at 90. Every day is a new opportunity to show yourself and your family that your life belongs to you. Start small. One boundary, one conversation, one step at a time. And when you slip, because you will, we all do, be gentle with yourself. Growth isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about waking up every day and choosing to protect your peace, even when it feels uncomfortable, even when it challenges old patterns, even when it surprises the people around you. And you know what? The more you do it, the more natural it becomes. You'll find your voice gets steadier, your heart gets lighter, your days get calmer. You'll start looking forward to time with your family, not dreading the emotional toll or the exhaustion that used to follow. Because now, you'll be meeting them from a place of wholeness, not depletion. This is the gift of boundaries. They don't shut people out. They invite people into a more authentic, loving version of your life. So today, I hope you feel encouraged to take that first step, to speak up for your needs without guilt, to protect your emotional space without apology, and to honor the wisdom you've gathered through the years by giving yourself the peace and balance you so deeply deserve. You've earned this, my friend. You've earned the right to live your life freely, joyfully, and on your own terms. And the beautiful part is, when you lead by example, your family will learn from you, and that ripple effect can change everything. Before you head off, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What's one boundary you've been meaning to set with your family? Or maybe you've already started setting some and you've seen the difference it makes. Whatever's on your mind, I'd love for you to share it in the comments below. Your story might be the encouragement someone else needs today. And if this conversation has spoken to your heart, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to the channel. This space is all about helping you embrace your later years with strength, confidence, and joy. You are never too old, and it is never too late to create the life you want. Here's to honoring your boundaries, nurturing your happiness, and living your best life at any age. Take care of yourself. You deserve it.